I
Okay.
saw a guy on Reddit wrote that he's getting minimum on EG, so I believe him.
Well, JoJo was
You saw
minimum
that
when he
on
went
Reddit?
up.
Yeah, I'll
Lucky
take that too.
Okay. So, Inspired Vulcan someday in FBI will not continue in the main roster of Evil Geniuses. Inspired is already exploring options in LEC and LCS. Okay. So, I think this level of implosion is very bizarre, but I don't think it's unheard of because their build around 2021 into 2022 was only about Danny and JoJo. And if some of the other players had it their way, I've already talked about this before, Danny wouldn't have actually been on the team. EG is really, they really care about the age of like the players and the longevity. I think. Unless something's changed. Now, one of the other things that I'll say about the EG roster implosion thing is, so something no one's talking about. There's no news articles or reports or anything from journalists about this. LCS teams have already begun contacting LCK teams in order to acquire a third import player without the intention of fielding them in summer for LCS or NA Academy. And the intention is to get either the already LCK player into a agreement that they will enter into contract with the LCS team following next year, or they've already approached LCK teams for their academy or challenger players to sign them for 2024. And literally just have them on contract and payroll. They won't do anything, and then they'll join the roster in 2024 when the 3 imports per team is allowed. And
wait, they're making 3 imports?
They're making 3 imports. So a lot of LCS teams have already begun doing that. What this means is that NA residents, like actual American players or, you know, Canadians, whatever, OC players that declared NA residency, it's going to be so much harder now to get slots in LCS because what I imagine is that I think it's really pushing closer and closer to 3 Koreans or 3 Chinese per team. And I think that's just the direction that teams are going to go. And I imagine that this upcoming season we'll start hearing like reports of the LCS teams that have already begun doing this.
Do you think that's bad?
No, I don't think it's necessarily bad. Some players don't already know that certain LCS orgs have already made attempts to sign Korean players that will replace their current starter for next year.
I think that's bad.
And why is it bad?
Why is it bad?
I feel like I like seeing Americans on American teams.
Yeah,
okay,
but
that's cope.
I might as well. Like, why would I watch NALCS? I can just watch LCK at that point. Like, honestly, am I like the only one thinking that?
Because I think LCS is kind of a mixture of like, yeah.
Region.
I think it's fucked. It's, you know, but what I will say is that last year there was supposed to be the import rule lift, in which case we would have seen VCS flood LCS, but it didn't happen. The import rule lift that was supposed to happen last year was that all non-major regions would no longer count as an import for North America. And if that would have happened, VCS probably would have just flooded NA. Like VCS players like Levi, Doggo, who are other ones? Fofo, right? Is VCS is not major region player. There's so many players that would have probably just flooded an A because they would have been residents.
In my opinion, they should just merge the Americas like they do with Valorant, and that would be really big because there's some decent talent in Brazil too, and they have a shitload of viewers, and it's
they have a shitload of viewers.
The same.
Yes. I think the theory is that they want to do that, but the problem is that CB LOL might push back on it.
Why? I mean, I don't know I don't know as deep as that, but I think they should merge.
Yeah, I think they should merge too. Hype. Yep. The issue. So the thing about this though is that California is a actually really bad place to have the LCS. Not only California state income tax, right? But there's so many other problems with like certain teams. Not all teams have living covered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So taxes, California state tax, taxes, everything. I feel like if they merge CB LOL, they should move LCS to like New York.
That ain't gonna happen, but
Why not?
The more east, the better, no?
because Riot's already there. It doesn't even. I don't think it even has to do about the teams. I think it has to do
Yeah,
with
but
like
Riot
Riot's
has-
HQ and their.
Sure, but Riot has several
studio.
bases. They have Seattle. They have Seattle. They have Berlin. They have Singapore, which is moving to become Riot HQ. Although I don't know if the Singapore thing is like known yet. They're trying to make Singapore like the mega hub, I think.
Oh yeah, the New York would be perfect.
Busio, you're
actually.
safe, man. Your support.
Thank you.
You're safe, man.
I was worried.
You're-
No,
Yeah,
Bossy is a mid laner in my heart still.
Aw.
Another
go.
good man gone.
Busio's safe, dude. Top laners, mid laners, junglers, 80 carries, you're all fucked.
Facts.
And if what Travis Gafford reported is accurate too, that LCS orgs voted to abolish Academy, I think NA players in general are actually genuinely fucked.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
part I
that
think is
sucks.
pretty alarming.
Huh?
I said that part I think is pretty alarming.
Yeah, if that
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
It's technically not even